boxing news.
Okay, now it's time for what is fast becoming the most popular segment here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail. The other day I said that Canelo Alvarez can't get the same credit for beating Terence Crawford that Crawford would get for beating him because Crawford's the older fighter, he's the little guy moving up, so it stands to reason. To which Antonio Rich responded, Jules, you're being a snake. No credit for juicing Canelo. The least he can do is win by KO. A fan of both fighters? Nah, later to you. Okay, whatever, sister child. I'm just keeping the same energy I keep for every fighter in the same position as Canelo. When Errol Spence Jr. fought Mikey Garcia, who came up 2 divisions for that fight. He had the Robert Easter fight at 135, then he jumped up to 147 for Errol. I kept the same energy. I said, the least Errol can do is stop this little guy. The least he can do is knock him out. I kept the same energy, like I always do. I think I'm one of the few content creators that isn't wishy-washy. When Vasyl Lomachenko fought Guillermo Rigondeaux, that was my prediction, that was my pick, that Loma would be too big and too strong for the smaller fighter moving up in weight. And that you can't give Loma but so much credit for the win, in spite of Rigo's constant shit-talking, because at the end of the day, Rigo's jumping up 2 weight classes, and you know what? Loma said the same thing. Said it's not a big win for him, because that's not Rigo's natural weight. Just keeping the same energy, the same way I always do. Like when Kell Brook jumped up 2 weight classes on short notice to fight Gennady Golovkin, I expected Gennady to stop him, because if you're in Gennady's position, that's the least you can do. The least you can do is stop the little guy moving up who has no experience at the weight. Jumping up 2 weight classes like Amir Khan did when he fought Canelo. The expectation was the same. I've got the videos to prove it. All you gotta do is put it in the search bar, and you'll see I kept the exact same energy for all those situations where a fighter up and decided to suddenly jump up 2 weight classes for a fight. I said the same thing on repeat. You better knock him out. You better stop him, whether it was Loma versus Rigo, or Spence versus Garcia, Golovkin versus Brook, or Canelo versus Khan. I said the same thing then that I'm saying now. Canelo Alvarez, having been at super middleweight as of late 2020, the least he can do against an older, smaller fighter who has no experience at the weight is knock him out. And if for any reason you have a problem with that, it's because you're scared. It's because you're afraid he can't do it. Which is what I've been saying the whole time. There's something about this fight that they find unsettling, and what it is people actually give Terence a chance. That doesn't even mean that he has one. Might not. Might go in there and get knocked out, but these guys are so goddamn nervous about it, they're snapping at anybody. Everybody. You expect me to give the naturally bigger, younger fighter with all the experience at the weight the same credit as the little guy moving up? Who's risking more here? It's a rhetorical question. We already know that for the smaller fighter jumping up 2 weight classes, it's a lot riskier than it is for the bigger guy. It's not that I'm not giving Canelo Alvarez a fair shake. It's not that I'm not calling it down the middle. I am. You just don't want me to, because you like that guy too much. I'm a fan of Canelo, but you're a fanatic.
Get down with that homo shit.
Yeah, I like the way the guy fights, you understand? I like the way the guy fights. You seem to like the guy.
Hey.
And I've told you people about this. I've told you time and time again that I don't put up with anybody's fanaticism. Anybody's fanboys.
Hey.
You gotta go to a fanboy channel if you want to hear fanboy rhetoric, because I don't actually care who wins. I'm a fan of Canelo like I'm a fan of Crawford, so it doesn't matter to me as much as it matters to you who gets their hand raised. You guys, you got your whole personality and nationality all tied up in a fight between 2 multimillionaires where I don't care that much. I like Crawford, I like Canelo, may the best man win. That's my perspective. Hell, I may not even make a pick for that fight, because I'm enjoying this too much. And you guys throw yourselves around your crummy apartment beside yourself because anybody suggested that Crawford deserves more credit because he's taking on more risks than Canelo.
Hey.
I've often maintained that there is a place for tribalism in all of organized sports, because at the end of the day, that's what sells the tickets, that's what puts asses in the seats, and that's what sells pay-per-views. But in any conversation I'm having, it has no place. My evaluation of a fight isn't going to be based on whatever your personal preferences are, whatever your nationality is, whatever you have in common with a guy, or whatever you like about a guy. That has nothing, zero to do with my evaluation of a fight, because I'm evaluating the fight, not you.
Seems to get lost in translation in these conversations as you guys keep trying to make it about yourselves. I don't care.
You know that's what tribalism is. Your tribe. You're supporting your tribe. Okay, well go do that over there, because that doesn't mean shit to me.
Nada.
Idol worship is for little kids. I can be a fan of Canelo Alvarez's boxing like I'm a fan of Terence Crawford's boxing. I ain't got my identity all wrapped up in the outcome of their fight like you guys do. In association with that story, Snack founder Victor Conte took to his social media and stated, "The PED debate in boxing. Terence Crawford has become the center of a heated debate. Facts and fair and balanced discussion are needed. Instead, we seem to have haters who are not open to a genuine exchange. Showbiz the Adult has dug out some info that has needed to be more transparent in regards to the reasons Terence is with Snack. Hopefully this info will contribute to a fair and balanced and actual debate. It may be of interest to view this video below."
What's that about?
Well, Terence Crawford's relationship with Victor Conte of Snack has come under scrutiny because of Victor Conte's past. We all know about the Balco scandal, so all of a sudden, the people in boxing are wondering what Victor Conte has been doing there when he's been there the whole time, guys. He's been there for years. Did you just now realize that?
It's not so much about Victor, but who Terence is fighting.
Victor continued, "Showbiz is asking for transparency about why elite boxers come to Snack. Snack has many futuristic training protocols and equipment not available at other facilities, such as comprehensive blood testing and individualized supplement programs, hypoxic training equipment, hyperoxic equipment often given to boxers to use at their gyms, a staff of elite trainers, effective recovery equipment, such as hyperbaric chambers and pneumatic compression equipment, plus sponsorship money and support. Hope this provides some needed transparency. Thank you for your request."
More scrutiny on Terence Crawford's relationship with Victor Conte, the nature of it.
Showbiz, yes, I do many things for Terence Crawford, and am much more than a financial sponsor. I do provide nutritional guidance and supplement recommendations. I am also part of his team, and do receive his test results. Please understand that Terence has been tested for the last 3 or 4 fights that I've worked with him. VADA does not always post his results based upon who the promoter is, and if they allow this info to be publicly shared. The promoter controls if the test results are made public or not. Hope this info is helpful to the boxing world. I'm going to repeat this because it seems necessary for complete and full disclosure. I've been an outspoken anti-doping advocate since 2005, which is 20 years. A simple Google search will confirm this to be true. I've met and provided consultation for WADA, USADA, and VADA. I provide advice to VADA. Back in the 2010-2011 timeframe, I have enrolled many boxers into VADA, but I have absolutely no influence upon any aspect of VADA operations. There is no credible evidence otherwise. There is much innuendo and speculation because of my background, but my role is simply to enroll Snack boxers to participate in clean boxing. People can and do change, and I am being completely transparent. Snack boxers are clean boxers. Snack is a futuristic training facility.
You believe any of that?
That Snack is a futuristic training facility? I actually do. I believe that Victor Conte has figured out a way to help boxers microdose, and all the state-of-the-art equipment at Snack allows them to do so without detection. If you want my honest opinion about what they're doing, that's my opinion. State-of-the-art equipment is to keep tabs on the threshold of substances a fighter may have in their system, and to make sure that certain substances are completely absent, as some are qualifiable and some are quantifiable. So the whole focus of the facility in and of itself is to use state-of-the-art equipment to avoid detection, to beat the tests.
So you don't think that Victor changed, and you don't think that he turned over a new leaf?
I'm not saying that people can't change. I'm saying that most people don't, especially when there are hundreds of thousands of dollars involved. One can make a small fortune helping these athletes beat these tests, and on a long enough timeline, a big one. A big fortune.
That's what you think Victor is doing.
It's exactly what I think he's doing, but surely you can see how absurd it is. For a Canelo Alvarez fan to put Terrence's relationship with Victor under a magnifying glass as to imply that he's helping Terrence Crawford dope when Canelo Alvarez already got caught doping. He already got caught with a banned substance in his system.
It's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. So what the hell's your problem?
One of these two guys already got caught in the act. You just want to believe the cover story. You believe Canelo's cover story, but you don't believe Victor's. And therein lies the dilemma. At the heart of this is plain old idol worship.
What are you, a 5-year-old?
Not telling you that Canelo is dirty and Crawford is clean. I'm telling you I think they're both dirty.
I think the whole sport of boxing is dirty. I think that doping within the sport is in fact the industry standard, but some guys are just better at hiding it.
For a long time, I had to try and reconcile my feelings about Victor Conte and what he's really doing in the sport of boxing in tandem with what fighters work with him. Could some of my favorite guys, could they be doping too? Some fighters that never failed the test. Some fighters who don't even raise any red flags. I mean, look at Devin Haney. He hits like a bitch.
A bitch.
Some of these fighters that work with Snack don't actually raise any red flags. Some of them never actually failed an anti-doping test, and yet a part of me still feels that Victor Conte is helping fighters cheat.
It's too much money to make for him not to. He's got too much knowledge, too many insights, and too many friends in the right places.
At the end of the day, and in the back of my mind, I always felt that Victor was back up to his old tricks. What I couldn't reconcile is what fighters were working with him until I just took myself out of the equation. Put your favorites to the side and take your feelings out of it. And what is likelier than not is he's helping all these guys cheat.
Never mind if one of them is your favorite fighter or some of them are your favorite fighters. That's not the point. It's not about you. It's about why a professional athlete would attach themselves to someone with the reputation of a Victor Conte.
Victor was literally at the center of the biggest doping scandal of the last, I don't know, 30 or 40 years?
So why would a professional athlete rub elbows with him, knowing what that might do to their reputation? And it could be because his services are invaluable, because Victor can help you get an edge and beat the test.
Why it doesn't bother me? Because I think other people are doing it too. I think it's happening at the Eddie Reynoso gym. I think it's happening in a lot of gyms with a lot of fighters from a lot of places to where it's the industry standard. And if it's the industry standard, and everybody knows it is.
Just like Lance Armstrong knew it was years ago in cycling.
It's not really cheating if everybody's doing it. No, the level at which it happens, I would say, is more like you're just trying to keep up with the Joneses.
And the Smiths.
Think of doping in the sport of boxing the same way I used to. I used to be like you, naive. I didn't want to believe that my favorite fighter or some of my favorite fighters might be doping. But that was coming from a place of childlike idol worship, and the only one I worship is the man upstairs. The rest of these guys, they're likely doping.
The reality of things is often a lot more mundane, and the world is solid through and through. When hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars are involved, it's likelier than not that the athlete will want an edge, the same edge as his competition.
So wake up and smell the Trenbo, buddy. It's not like you wash down a tall glass of Osterin and all of a sudden you've got the best jab in boxing.
It doesn't work like that.
Hell, I remember a long time ago a lot of kids struggled with the idea that professional wrestling was scripted. Then, after a while, people came around to that reality and enjoyed it anyway.
So this is a reality that I think a lot of boxing fans have got to come around to and just enjoy it anyway. Stop using it for your witch hunt. They're all likely doping, even if they all don't always get caught.
Rumors abound. Downstairs in the men's junior middleweight division on the eve of Jaron Ennis' junior middleweight debut, rumor has it that 4 offers have gone out to 4 fighters, at least one that we know of, Josh Kelly, who didn't like the offer, said it was a lowball, and you already know what I think would happen in that fight, if that fight happened. I think Jaron Ennis would steamroll Josh Kelly. Josh might look all right for a few rounds till a solid punch lands and he goes out.
You can't make a statement at junior middle, boxing a former welter in Josh Kelly. I don't think you can really make a statement boxing a former welter in Rashidi Ellis either.
Rumor has it that an offer went out to him. He's a boxer, and he's a mover, like Josh Kelly is a mover, but he's also a guy who moved up, or would be moving up, from 147 pounds, and he already got beat by Roman Villa.
It's a common opponent between Jaron Ennis and Rashidi Ellis, Roman Villa.
In some ways, it's not a bad fight, but it's not a great one either. You don't really make a statement at 154 by choosing to fight a guy from 147.
There is also the lesser-known and unbeaten Andreas Katzourakis. I think that's a fighter that we would all have to get familiar with, more familiar with, if Boots chose to fight him. I don't know that guy.
But I do know Charles Conwell. And I do know that Charles Conwell has some time in the men's junior middleweight division. I know that he's a pressure guy, an action guy. I know that stylistically, a fight between him and Boots makes for the best fight.
Well, better at least than either Rashidi Ellis or Josh Kelly.
Charles Conwell is a pressure guy. Boots Ennis is a boxer puncher. More often than not, when you mix in those two kind of fighters, it makes for a great stylistic matchup, an easy fight for a casual audience to enjoy. So out of these four, I like the Conwell fight the most. But what happened to those rumors about Jesus Ramos?
We talked about it in a previous video, a rumor that's out there that Jesus Ramos is also in the running for a Boots fight, what I think would be a legitimate acid test against the proven guy at 154, more proven at least than either Josh Kelly or Rashidi Ellis.
These 4 or 5 opponent options, some more solid than others, don't really satisfy what people want to see from Boots, given the reputation that he amassed pouncing on overmatched competition. Roadkill, really. Overkill.
On the Showtime platform.
It's reached a point to where people want to see Boots live up to the hype, and some are not ready to forgive him for walking away from a Virgil Ortiz fight that's rumored to have been offered to him, but reportedly Boots wanted 2 tune-up fights beforehand. A lot of people are disappointed. They're let down.
I'm not, because I never thought he was the next Terence Crawford. I thought Boots at his very best is a solid fighter. Good fighter, but we don't know how good he is, and we really won't until he moves up to 154. But moving up to 154, I never thought that Virgil was going to be his first fight there. I mean, I could have told you that.
It's just not the way that this guy's been moving since we started paying attention to how he moves, to where his very first fight at a new weight is going to be against a guy that might beat him.
Nah.
So I'm not as disappointed as some others. I'm not as let down because I didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I'm just hoping that he at least makes a solid choice for his very first fight as a junior middleweight. I don't really want to see a Josh Kelly fight. Stylistically, I don't really like the Rashidi Ellis fight. The Charles Conwell fight is the one that I like, and the only other fight I like more than that is the Jesus Ramos fight.
Conwell or Ramos are all right by me, until such a time as I can see the tape on this Katzourakis person.
'Cause I never seen that guy before. I don't know nothing about that guy, aside from he's unbeaten.